Hello, everyone, and welcome to Eddie West Field, the site for the 2025 season opener, as your Santa Ana Dons get set to take on the Renegades of Bakersfield College. My name is Noah Alvarez. Thanks for tuning in to Dons Football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. A new era begins tonight for both programs, as both teams are led by first-year head coaches. Simon Fuentes takes the reins at Santa Ana College as the Dons were promoted to the National Division this offseason. They'll have a much tougher schedule this year and will have to replace 17 starters from last year's team. The Dons do return their starting quarterback Nate Bento from last season as he looks to lead the program to 3 straight winning seasons. For Bakersfield, first-year head coach Ty Thompson takes over the Renegades program after spending 11 years as an assistant coach. They return their starting quarterbacks from each of the past 2 seasons and are ranked 17th in the 3C 2A preseason rankings. At Bakersfield College, ranked 17th in the 3C 2A, Santa Ana College. It's their first season in the Northern Division, or the Northern League, since 2016. When we come back, we'll have the opening kickoff and starting lineups when we return. Back here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel, my name is Noah Alvarez. Moments away from the opening kickoff here at Eddie West Field. Built in 1963, it's played home to many different teams, but now plays home to Santa Ana College here on Saturdays for the 2025 fall season. Home opener for both these teams as the captains make their way to midfield. For Santa Ana College, you can see their captains walking on the near side. It'll be number 12, Nate Bento, number 32, Matthew Gill, number 85, Nathan Meek, and number 79. Well, we don't have a 79 on our roster, so we'll have to figure out who 79 is in just a moment. But again, my name is Noah Alvarez. Very excited to be bringing you the action in tonight's game. 6 p.m. scheduled kickoff. The Renegades travel from Bakersfield, about a 3-hour drive down the 5 freeway. They play in the Southern California Football Association. They rarely travel north to play any teams in Central or Northern California. They actually have to travel quite a bit every game this season. College of the Canyons is their closest drive, and it's about a 1-hour drive for them from Bakersfield. So they make the 3-hour trip. They're in their white uniforms and white bottoms. They're led by first-year head coach Ty Thompson. He's been the defensive coordinator since 2019 and has been on the staff since 2013. He was a player back in 2008 and 9 before he transferred to the University of Nevada, Reno. He played for the Wolfpack, a defensive-minded head coach, taking over the Renegades program. And we mentioned earlier in the broadcast that the Dons are led by first-year head coach Simon Fuentes. Fuentes, an offensive-minded coach, played here in 1994, the 93 and 94 seasons, but in 1994 he was named the Mission Conference Player of the Year, helped the Dons win the Mission Conference that year, the first time that they had won conference in 23 seasons at that time. Set a record for 19 touchdowns during the season, and went on to transfer to Eastern Kentucky University. He did coach on the staff from 2001 to 2010, and then again from 2013 to 2018. He then coached last year as a receivers coach, so just an assistant. The captains for Bakersfield down on the field is number 9, Tyler Lewis, and number 25, Ian Jernigan. Again, both teams are relatively young, new head coaches. However, both teams have returning quarterbacks, and for Bakersfield, it's going to be rather interesting to see who gets more reps. We talked with head coach Ty Thompson before the game, and both starter Malachi Statler from last year and the starter from 2 years ago, Carson Woods, are both on the roster. Woods started in 2023 and threw for 2,600 yards. Spent last year at the University of North Texas, however, did not see any action and bounced back to Bakersfield College, while Malachi Statler started 9 games last season, threw for 1,300 yards, 15 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. He was a starter last year. Ty Thompson, again, the head coach of Bakersfield, mentioned both quarterbacks will get snaps. Looks like the Dons elected to kick here to open up the game. 15 minutes on the scoreboard. My name is Noah Alvarez. The shadows as the sun sets behind us here at Eddie West Field, covering up the middle Santa Ana Stadium logo. It'll be Devin Coleman, who wears number 99, set to kick things off. He's a freshman from El Dorado. A lot of players from El Dorado in this program. Jeff Jones, the interim head coach last season, and for much of the 2000s, played at El Dorado and always did a nice job of finding recruits to come here to Santa Ana College from the El Dorado Golden Hawks program. Jones still on the roster, or still on the coaching staff, as one of the Dons players runs off the field, maybe an equipment issue. It's already an early substitution. 2 players back deep to return for Bakersfield College. Looks like Brock Waterberger on the near side, and on the far side, on the far hash, it's Daniel Nettles. Coleman set to kick things off, east to west, right to left on your screen. They're in the red uniforms. It's back to the 13-yard line, and so one of the upbacks called fair catch, and because he called fair catch, it applies to anybody who caught the ball. Nettles caught it at the 13. It's actually a generous spot. They're going to give it to them at the 20. And so that's where Bakersfield will start this opening drive. So it does look like Malachi Statler, the starting quarterback from last season, will get the opening drive for the Bakersfield Renegades. Dons had 12 players on the field as they hustle one out. Bakersfield, 2 tight end, 2 running back set, some old school football to open things off on the first play. And it goes for a very short gain. Lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage, as Jadaniel Nettles gets the start at running back. He's the sophomore from Escambria County High School. Played a significant amount of snaps last season. Finished the year with 419 rushing yards. 3rd leading rusher last season. 20 personnel for Bakersfield. They head from left to right on your screen. Ball on the 25, 2nd down and 10. Fake handoff. Looks to his right. Pass in the backfield, and the Dons swarm. It's a loss of 5 on the play. 3rd and 15 now for the Bakersfield offense. It was caught by Ian Jernigan out of the backfield, but he had nowhere left to go. The Dons closed in on him quickly. 3rd and 15, ball in the near hash. Dons looking for their first 3 and out defensively of the 2025 season. Another player runs off for Bakersfield College. Two receivers to the left of the formation. Statler drops back, looks over the middle. Dangerous pass into a crowd. Broken up there by Mac Wolf, the linebacker. Deep in his drop there. Pass was intended for Chad Sable. And that's going to force a 3-and-out. Renegades have to punt. And it'll be the first punt return. Damian Gomez back deep, the sophomore from La Habra. When you're looking at the sophomores on the roster, the Dons have 24. Bakersfield has 40. Bit more experienced roster for the Bakersfield program. They did lose a lot of production, though, on the offense. Their leading 4 receivers and their top 2 leading rushers from last season all moved on. Gomez receives this at the 39 of the Dons. Starts heading towards the far sideline, has some room, gets across the 45 and brought down at the 49-yard line. Tripped up by Xander Pulido in punt coverage. And we'll see the first of the Dons offense. Again, thanks for tuning in to Dons football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. 13:58 left to go here in the first quarter. See the first look of Nate Bento in his sophomore season. Quarterback from El Dorado High School, started 9 games last year, threw for 10 touchdowns, threw for 1,064 passing yards, but was very effective on the ground, 625 rushing yards, as the Dons, as a team, rushed for 2,256 yards during last season. Bento drops back to pass on his first play of the 2025 season, finds Meek for a 10-yard game as he gets dragged down at the Renegades' 40-yard line. That's a first down for the Dons. Quick pass. Meek, another returner here on the Dons offense. Where's number 85? Keep an eye on him. Both Meek and Bento went to El Dorado together, so they've had chemistry since their high school days. Also getting the start at receiver is freshman Deacon Moss. He's on the far side. Gomez is the man in motion. Pass to Malachi Beatty on the near side. He gets roped down at the 36. Gain of about 4 yards for the freshman from Garden Grove. So the starting receivers, Malachi Beatty, Deacon Moss, Damian Gomez, Nathan Meek at tight end. And looks like the freshman, Brandon Duran, getting the start. Duran, actually a sophomore on the roster here. We'll get you the starting offensive line after this play. Second down and 6, 13 minutes left to go in the first. Bento sends Meek in motion to the right side of the formation. Pressure in his face. Bento rolls now to his right. Bento looks deep, flings it up, and it's intercepted by the Renegades in the end zone. Richard Gooden has some blockers out in front of him, now on the far hash. Bento, only man back there with Garan, and Duran does drag him down at the Dons 41. So the Dons were moving the offense, moving the ball on offense relatively well in their first drive as Bento was looking to make a play downfield, thrown into double coverage. Gooden was in coverage on the far side, peeled off of his man when the throw entered the middle of the field, and it was an easy interception. Pass was intended for Malachi Beatty in the end zone. Now the Renegades will take over, heading from left to right on your screen. Now we'll see the first of Carson Woods. So both quarterbacks getting the first 2 drives. Woods hands it off up the middle. Renegades do push the pile about 3 yards down to the Don 37. That handoff there goes to Ian Jernigan. So Jernigan played 2023, only appeared in 1 game and was missed the rest of the season out due to an injury. And of course, Daniel Nettles played last season, so some experienced running backs and quarterbacks for the Renegades. We'll get you their starting offensive line after this snap. Second down and 7, 12:03 in the first quarter. Woods drops back, looks to the far side, ball tipped up, nearly an interception for the Dons. Starting offensive line for the Bakersfield Renegades. At left tackle, it's Chad Troxler. At left guard, it's Andres Alcaraz. At center, Tyler Shelton. At right guard, Oliver Mamea. And at right tackle, Brady Phillips. We'll get you the starting defensive line when we can. Again, the red uniforms with the silver metallic numbers. Very unforgiving here up at the press box. 3rd down and 7 for the Renegades. Blitz coming off the far side. It's a handoff on the draw play. Lots of room for Bakersfield. Down at the 23-yard line is Jernigan. Second handoff of the series. 3rd time he's touched the ball this evening. And it's a 1st down. Corner on the near side for the Santa Ana Dons is Jacob Gadsden. In at the nickel position right now is Wallace Falemu, freshman from Orange Lutheran. Another handoff to Jernigan. Has some room outside of the tackle box and brought down at the 16. They're going to say 18-yard line. Sets up 2nd and manageable. Ball will be on the far hash. 10:55 here in the 1st quarter. Dons make a mass substitution. Looks like number 11, Abraham Tolliver, defensive end here on the near side, switches places with Sonny Salas. He's now on the near side. Man motions out for the Renegades offense. Another handoff to Jernigan right up the middle. Gashes the Dons to the 14-yard line. Going to set up 3rd and very short. 3rd and less than a yard. We mentioned Mac Wolf's name. He's in at one of the linebacker positions. And once we get you those other numbers, we'll get you the rest of the defense for the Dons. They do rotate often. Been a very good defensive team the last few seasons. That was something that Anthony White made sure of. Anthony White served as the head coach from 2021 to 2023. 3rd and short. 2 receivers bunched out to the right side of the formation. Another handoff up the middle to Nettles. Nettles keeps the feet moving. Drags the pile to the 5-yard line. Another defensive line substitution there. We'll see that often by the Dons defense. Try and keep a fresh set of bodies down on the line. Rotate 8 to 9 guys. 1st and goal from the 6-yard line. Renegades look to score first here in the 2025 season opener. Motion their tight end to the left side of the formation. A handoff to Nettles. Nettles has a crease. Falls into the end zone. And the first score of the game goes to the Renegades. 6-0 with 9:12 here in the 1st quarter. So the Renegades able to flex their muscle on the first play call of the season, on the evening. They came out in 22 personnel, 2 tight ends and 2 running backs. Old traditional I formation, and I think that was very telling of the mindset that the Renegades had offensively as they looked to push around the Dons, use their size advantage and their depth at the offensive line position. (7-0) after the extra point is good by the Renegades. 9:12 here in the 1st quarter. Again, my name is Noah Alvarez. Thanks for tuning in wherever you may be tuning in from. For the Renegades, it was a 7-play, 40-yard drive that was started by the interception by Richard Gooden. Bento escaped the pressure out of the pocket, but made a throw on the run, and it was a dangerous throw over the middle of the field. Gooden made him pay and started the possession for the Renegades at the Dons 40. Now we'll see the Renegades kick off for the first time. Carter Colasar will kick things off. He's a freshman, and he wears number 1. You don't see too often the kickers with single-digit numbers. They usually get the last of the pick. Last pick in the jersey uniform numbers. Back deep to return is Gomez on the far hash. And on the near hash. Now switching to the far hash is Anthony Abad. Abad on the far hash now, and Gomez switches to the near hash. Two returners back deep for the Dons. Over to Gomez on the 12-yard line here on the near sideline. Heads up the sideline, has a crease. The flag gets thrown on the play. He passes midfield and is finally pushed out of bounds. We'll have to wait to see what the flag is down at the 34-yard line. Dons did have significant contribution from their special teams unit last year. Malachi Bay was the predominant punt and kick returner. Did take one back to the house. I had a couple other big returns, both at kick return and punt returner. That time it was Gomez who was able to shoot up the far sideline, the near sideline. But it is coming back, a holding penalty on the Dons return team. Renegades lead 7-0, 9 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Thanks for tuning in to Dons Football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. The Dons finished 8-3 last season and picked up a victory in their last game of the year in the Western State Bowl against LA Southwest College. Bakersfield finished last season 6-5. Both programs under new leadership. Two new head coaches face off. First play on the second drive for the Dons is a handoff up the middle to Duran. He gets to the 26-yard line. Second down and 8. Yard to gain is the 33-yard line. Gomez goes into motion to the far side. He's out there with Meek and Moss. Fakes the handoff. Bento keeps it. Here on the near side, gets pushed out of bounds near the first down marker. They're going to say the 31. They move it up to the 32-yard line. So 3rd and 1 coming up for the Santa Ana Dons. Their first drive ended in an interception. They were able to convert their first 3rd down conversion of the season. Quick snap. Bento faces pressure. Now turns to his legs, able to keep them churning, and does get to the 37. Enough for a Dons first down. The snap sort of surprised him. Wasn't expecting that one to come out so quickly. Maybe a silent count and miscommunication between him and the center. Good time to announce the starting line for the Santa Ana Dons. At left tackle, it's Malik Pia, the only sophomore on the line. At left guard, Jace Warshaw. Max Ramshaw at center. At right guard, Mitchell Jones, the Air Force Academy bounce back. And at right tackle, Kautoke Barton. That's the starting offensive line here for the Santa Ana Dons. A draw play. Quarterback design run. Bento gets to the 45. Second down and short coming up. 7.5 minutes here in the first quarter. We mentioned Bento started 9 games last year and showed signs of being a very prolific runner. Finished the season with 625 yards on the ground. Was able to do in all sorts of ways. Quarterback design runs, RPOs, as well as scrambling out of the pocket. Second down play is a short one to Garan. Does fall forward to the 47.5-yard line. Does look like it's going to be 3rd and very short. No referee has signaled the first down just yet. So 3rd and inches. They motion Gomez to the far side of the formation. Here's the play. Bento hands it off to Garan. Garan has some space on the left side. Does get enough for a first down. Down at the Renegades 47-yard line as the Dons do cross midfield. Second time that they've done so. The Dons opened up the game with a 3-and-out. We're driving down the field. But Bento threw an interception in the end zone in case you missed it. And Richard Gooden was able to take it back to the Dons 40 to set up the Renegades 7-play, 40-yard drive that gave them the 7-0 lead. 6 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Another handoff right up the middle. The Dons have been able to get a push. Gain of about 5. Down to the Renegades 42. We had a chance to chat with Simon Fuentes, the head coach, and we asked him, what do you think one of the strengths of this team will be? And he mentioned the offense and defensive line. The big boys up front and down on the field, they do have a lot more size than they did last season or in the past couple seasons at the offensive line position. And they're able to create some lanes for the running backs. They've had a very prolific running game the last 2 seasons. 2nd down and 5. Garon gets the handoff up the middle. This time a very minimal gain. Gain of 1 yard on the play. The last 2 seasons, the Dons have been the benefactor of having William Saucedo and Owen Smith, a very talented running back duo that rushed for 1,700 yards last season. And the year before, they rushed for a combined 1,400 yards. So a very talented duo, but the two have graduated on as sophomores. 3rd and short, pass intended for Beatty, and miscommunication between him and Bento. 4th and 4, we'll see if Fuentes and the coaching staff elect to go for it. The offense stays on the field. Looks like Beatty gets subbed out for Fabricio Ramirez. Receiver out on the slot on the far side is Emmett Grossman. Moss and Gomez also on the far side. Trips to the right side. 4th and 4. Don's offense stays out there. Bento takes the snap. Looks to the near side. Pressure is in his face. He escapes. Lots of room over on the far side. He picks up the 1st down. Picks up a big block from Moss and steps out of bounds at the 25. And there's many ways that Nate Bento can kill you with his legs on the quarterback design runs. But also, if you run man defense behind on the coverage, no one spying the quarterback on that last play, Bento can make you pay that way as well as he scrambles and picks up the 1st down. Four and a half minutes here in the first quarter. Don's 5 yards away from the red zone. First we're seeing of the running back Ethan Frazier. Fake handoff to Frazier. Bento goes up the middle. Trips up at the 14-yard line, and it's going to be a 1st down for the Dons. Once again, they're in the red zone for the first time this evening. First and 10, 2-time tight ends in the formation. Nathan Meek and Zach Bogdan, both to the right side of the formation. Frazier in the backfield on this 1st down play. Another fake handoff to Frazier. This time the Renegades were ready as they snuffed that one out. He's met at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. First defender there is Mario Rivas Jr., wearing number 58. Renegades defense runs a 4-2-5. And Ty Thompson, the defensive coordinator, the last 4 seasons, so a lot of continuity as he takes over the reins as the head coach. 2nd down and 10. Ball on the Renegades' 13-yard line. This time they do hand it off to Frazier up the middle. He brings the pile to the 10, let's say 11-yard line, and he'll set up 3rd down and about 6. Third and 6, the Dons are in the red zone looking to score their first touchdown of the 2025 season. Some substitutions come in as the Dons look to spread things out. 4 receivers, 2 to each side of Bento. They now motion Gomez to the near side of the formation. Movement up front. We'll wait to see what the call is. And it is a false start on the right tackle. Kautoke Barton is guilty of the false start. Gets the start at right tackle this evening. Now it backs him up to 3rd and 12. Ball is currently on the 16-yard line. Yard to gain is the Renegades 4-yard line. So we'll see how that affects the decision and the play call here for the Dons and the coaching staff. Meek in the formation to the near side. 3 receivers out to the left of Bento. Bento looks that way. Over the middle, Meek is wide open. And it's the first touchdown for the Santa Ana Dons in the 2025 season. 7-6 is the score with 2 minutes here in the first quarter. All by himself over the middle of the field. Had to be a miscue there by the Renegades defense. Meek is a player who returns after making 22 receptions last season, 3 receiving touchdowns, and became a popular target for Bento last season. Surprised the Renegades weren't able to keep a closer eye on the tight end over the middle. Extra point is good by the kicker, Diego Hernandez. Hernandez makes it a 7-7 game. Things are all tied up. 2:07 left to go in the first quarter. While we have this break in the action, we did want to say if you're looking to support any members here of the Santa Ana College football team or just any members of the Santa Ana College athletic staff, we have this QR code, and we sincerely thank you for your generous donation to SAC Athletics and SAC Sports Information. Your support goes directly toward helping our student athletes thrive both on and off the field. Because of you, they have the tools, resources, and opportunities to continue competing at their best and representing Santa Ana College with pride. Your commitment truly makes a difference. We appreciate you being part of the SAC family. Devin Coleman kicks this towards the far side. It takes a bounce and stays in bounds. Nettles in some traffic, but does squirt ahead to the 24-yard line. And that's where the Renegades will begin their third drive of the evening. 7-7 is the score after the Dons tied things up. An 8-yard pass from Bento to Nathan Meek. Correction, a 16-yard pass. Pass and catch from Bento to Meek. We saw that 3 times last season as Meek finished the year with 3 receiving touchdowns. And here comes the Renegades offense, back with Malachi Statler. That's the third drive. Over the middle, wide open is Dejon Shanks. Shanks makes the catch and is pushed out of bounds at the Renegades' 41-yard line. And Statler started last year 9 games, started the first drive of the evening. And Carson Woods started in 2023, all 10 games. He got the second drive. Ty Thompson, the head coach, mentioned that both quarterbacks were going to take snaps this evening. And so far, they've traded off series. Tight end to the right side of the formation. Handoff to the left side. Good run there by the Renegades for 9 yards, but there is a flag on the play thrown here on the near side. Handoff that time was to Brock Wattenberger. We wait to see what the call is. So it looks like one of the members of the Dons defense was lined up in the neutral zone, an offsides penalty. Renegades decline. 2nd down and 1. 1:20 in the first quarter. That's on the cornerback, Jacob Gadsden. Lined up in press coverage down here on the near side. Send a man in motion. It's the tight end Fowler. Another handoff to the running back. Back-to-back plays for Corey Watkins, Jr. Jr. pushed out of bounds at midfield. Clock stops with a minute 04 on the scoreboard. 3rd and 1 coming up for the Renegades. And Chad Sable, the receiver, down on the near side of the formation. They tried the hard count. Did get Riker Scott to move, but not enough into the neutral zone. 3rd and 1. Now an audible. Statler yells information to his offensive line. Another handoff to Watkins Jr., and he does just get enough. He falls ahead to the Dons' 48-yard line. That's going to move the chains. A Renegades first down. First and 10 as they cross into Don's territory. Watkins Jr. gets a 3rd straight handoff. The Renegades continue to push the pile. The ball does squirt out of the end, but the referees marked forward progress down at the Don's 42-yard line. Final 30 seconds of the first quarter. Statler with 3 receivers over to the right side for the formation. Play action. Looks to get it to his slot receiver on the near side. Out of bounds at the 17-yard line. Catch made there by Jack Kasinger. Seven seconds left to go in the first. Clock will continue to run, and that'll be the last play of the first quarter. Things are all tied up at 7 apiece. When we come back, we'll have the second quarter of action when we return.
People always ask us, what's a Don? And our response is easy. To us, a Don is someone who embraces the grind. A Don is a person that brings passion. Someone who takes advantage of all their opportunities. A leader, a dreamer, a winner. The question we have for you is, are you ready to be a Don?
"15 minutes up on the scoreboard. The Dons are tied up with the Bakersfield Renegades as we get ready to start the second quarter. My name is Noah Alvarez. Thanks for tuning in wherever you may be tuning in from. Bakersfield has it in the red zone at the Dons' 18-yard line. We'll see if they can punch it in and break the tie. Handoff over to the right side. Nettles has a gap, drags a defender past the 10-yard line into the 5, down at the 4. A big gash there. Another defensive line substitution there as the Dons haven't had an answer for the ground game of the Renegades. Thus far as a team, Renegades have 67 yards rushing after that last play. First and goal inside the 5. Statler still in the game. In the backfield with him is Ian Jernigan. So we've seen all 3 running backs. 2 tight ends to the right of the formation. A handoff to Jernigan. He cuts back to the right side. No room there. The Dons swarm and make a big stop. Forward progress stopped at the 5-yard line, so loss of about half a yard. One of the first men to get there was Riker Scott at the defensive line position. He's now going to jog off. He looks to be in some pain. Abraham Tolliver comes back on. Again, Mac Wolf and Gabriel Bagdanoff, the starting linebackers. At the safety position, it's Eric Ugalde. They motion a player to the right side of the formation. Another handoff up the middle. He's upended. Good penetration that time by the defensive lineman Porter Nix. Now that's Mario Evans down there at the defensive tackle position. 13.5 minutes left to go in the second quarter. 3rd and goal from the 4-yard line, the original line of scrimmage. We'll see what the Renegades draw up here. Key 3rd down. Now in the backfield is Corey Watkins Jr. 2 receivers flanked out to the left of Statler. It's a pass play. Statler looks for his receiver, and the pass is broken up by Caleb Grant. Lots of space there for the receiver who had it in his hands. Statler made an accurate throw. Pass intended for Ben Spears, the outside receiver. He comes up hobbling as he jogs off the field, and now we'll see the kicker. Holder is set up at the 11-yard line. So it'll be a 21-yard kick for the lefty. Kick is through the uprights, and it's now a 10-7 lead for the Bakersfield Renegades. So Carlos Villa punches it through for the Bakersfield Renegades. 13:02 left to go in the second quarter. Bakersfield leads 10-7. A reminder, the Dons have moved up into the Northern Division this season. They played in the American Division the last 6 seasons. Now because they're in the National Northern League, they'll face the likes of Mount SAC and a few other tough teams in their 2025 schedule. Next week, they travel to Chaffey College in Rancho Cucamonga to take on the Panthers. And then they host ELAC on September 13th here at home before they begin conference play. They'll play the likes against Allen Hancock, Citrus College, Mount SAC, Long Beach City College, Ventura College, Moore Park, and Santa Barbara. So some different teams than they're used to playing back in the American Division. Ball on the tee for Colasar, kickoff man for the Renegades. Gomez back deep to return towards the far sideline, and that one goes straight out of bounds. So that'll draw a penalty flag. And the Dons will have favorable field position to begin this upcoming drive. 10-7 is the score. If you look at some of the stats early on, Bakersfield has 7 first downs in comparison to the Dons' 6. Both teams have had plenty of success on 3rd down. Bakersfield 3 of 5. The Dons are 3 of 4. The Dons have ran 17 total plays for 97 yards. The Renegades have ran 20 plays for 107. 36 have been through the air for the Renegades. 31 have been through the air. Both teams leaning on their ground game. While the Renegades have 71, the Dons have 66. First down and 10. Ball on the 35-yard line. Dons heading from left to right on your screen in the red uniforms. Fake handoff to Garan. And Bento takes it over on the right side. 5 defenders meet him there. First defender to get there is Logan Slayton, the linebacker. Freshman from Frontier High School. We'll get you some of the defensive line players as Tino Ion down on the field, along with Matthew Sosa and Xander Pulido. 4th D lineman in on the formation right now is Blaine Nuroff. 2nd down and 9, Bento. 2 receivers to each side. Hard count. There was some movement, but no flag has been thrown. Bento will now loft it towards Beatty on the far side. Good coverage there by the far side corner. And it was Beatty who actually had to play defense there as the corner, Brock Waterberger, was in perfect position to make that catch. Third down and 9. Bit surprised to see no flag as 2 players for the Renegades defensive front jumped, but maybe not jumped enough into the neutral zone. Three receivers to the right of the formation. No Nathan Meek. Bento drops back. Has time. Now rolling to his right. Over the middle, Beatty takes a big hit, but does make the catch across midfield down at the 49 of the Renegades. Enough for a first down. A bang play there. He had to take a big hit, making the catch. The freshman from Garden Grove stands at 6'3", one of those taller, longer bodied receivers. First down and 10. Garan in the backfield, the deep back. Pistol formation. Meek the tight end on the right side. Fake the handoff to Garan. Bento keeps it. Follows his blocker, Meek. The Renegades defense brings him down at the 43. In on the tackles, Richard Gooden. Second down and 4 coming up for the Dons. Meek in motion to the far side of the formation. Garan shoots up the middle, does get to the 40-yard line. They're going to say 41. It'll be 3rd and 2 coming up for the Santa Ana Dons. Garan gets his 6th handoff of the evening. Bento leads the team with 8 rushing attempts for 55 yards. 4 of 7 through the air. 3rd and short. 10:50 here in the second quarter. Yard to gain is the Renegades 39. Bento relays the message to the offensive line as they get an audible from the sideline. A handoff to Garan up the middle. Follows his blockers and does get to the 39-yard line, and will be enough for a first down. Tackle made there by Rivas Jr. We've called his name a few times already. It does look like Miguel Zepeda lost his helmet. He'll have to come off the field, and there's an injured offensive lineman down on the field for the Santa Ana Dons. We'll get you a number once we are able to see, but with the break in the action, we'll cut to a break ourselves and be right back after this.
People always ask us, what's a Don? And our response is easy. To us, a Don is someone who embraces the grind. A Don is a person that brings passion, someone who takes advantage of all their opportunities, a leader, a dreamer, a winner. The question we have for you is, are you ready to be a Don?
Life doesn't change overnight. It takes effort and dedication. It takes learning new skills and putting yourself and loved ones first. At Santa Ana College, you can complete a full-time accelerated online program in just 2 years. Choose a program that meets your needs and changes your educational dreams into a well-deserved reality. Building the life you want means taking a first step. Start your journey at Santa Ana College. Where it leads is
So there on your screen, you see the injured Santa Ana Don player walking off the field with the assistance of his teammates. It's number 62, Noah Morales, a freshman from La Habra High School. First and 10 coming up for the Dons. Ball on the 39-yard line. Dons going from left to right. 10:35 here in the second quarter. My name is Noah Alvarez. Thanks for tuning in wherever you may be tuning in from. Bento with 3 receivers to the left of the formation. Empty backfield. Fake handoff on the jet sweep action, and Bento rumbles ahead. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, so no gain on the play. Set up second down and 10. Dons trail 10-7 here to the Bakersfield Renegades. Both teams led by first-year head coaches. Bakersfield also played in the Patriotic Bowl last season, but fell short to the Saddleback Bobcats by a score of 48-45. Saddleback College also has a new head coach at their program. Bento has to escape the pressure, and he's wrestled down at the 48. Does get positive yardage. But pressure came in quickly that time from the Renegades. Bento looked uncomfortable there and just tried to salvage the play. It's now 3rd and 9. Dons are in 4-down territory, too deep for a field goal, but too close to the end zone for a punt. So you want to get a chunk play here, something for about 4 to 5 yards, and gives you an easier situation for the 4th down call. Meek is down on the line here on the near side. Bento rolls that way, looks for his tight end. He finds Meek all by himself. The second time we've seen that, and he gets enough for the first down at the 29-yard line. Meek picks up his 3rd reception on the evening. Both him and Beatty are the only 2 receivers to record a reception here for the Dons. Again, Meek finished the season with 22 receptions and 3 touchdowns last year as a freshman. Both him and Bento played at El Dorado High School together. First down and 10. Meek and Bogdan both in the formation. 2 tight ends set, and before the play can get going, there's a flag thrown. A false start penalty on the Dons. That's on Zach Bogdan, the backup tight end. He now checks out. And Deacon Moss. Deacon Moss, the stepbrother of former quarterback here at Santa Ana College, Beck Moss. Both players played at Irvine High School. Moss joins Gomez on the far side of the formation. Meek down on the left side. Malachi Beatty, the lone receiver here on the near side. Garan in the backfield. Bento. Looks to the left. Short pass for Gomez. The slot receiver has some room. Lifted up and brought down at the 24. Gain of 11 on the play. That'll set up 3rd down and short. Renegades make some substitutions up front on the defensive line. Dons hustle back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 5. Handoff to Garan up the middle. Wrestled down by Rivas Jr. He's been an active person here in today's contest thus far. 3rd tackle of the evening. Frazier will come in for Garan. Meek down on the right side of the formation. 3rd and 2. 7:16 here in the second quarter. Hard count. There was movement up front by the Renegades defensive line. That's Miles Poole. Wow, and they're going to call it a false start penalty on the Dons. So it's very clear from up here that Miles Poole was a man who jumped here on the near side as the defensive lineman. Maybe there was some action from one of the receivers on the top of our screen. We were focused on the line of scrimmage. So instead of a first down for the Dons, it's now 3rd and 7. Yard to gain is the 19 of the Renegades. Bento drops back, looks left, now up the middle, pressure in his face, does keep his feet moving, stays up on his feet somehow, and gets tripped up at the Renegades' 13-yard line. Man, he knows how to run the ball effectively. Finds a crease, can stay on his feet. That time used his hand for balance there to get an extra 5 yards. First and 10. Dons can pick up a first down before getting into the end zone. Here's a handoff to Frazier up the middle. Met at the line of scrimmage, and there's another flag on the play. Another player down on the field for the Renegades, slow to get up. That's Zapata. He jogs off to the sideline under his own power. We'll wait to see what the call is on the penalty. So another holding penalty on one of the offensive linemen, on Jace Warsaw, the left guard. Penalty-wise, now that's the third penalty on Santa Ana College. There's been no penalties on Bakersfield thus far. Very disciplined. Just maybe a bit lucky. First down and 20 after the holding penalty. Yard to gain is the Renegades' 4-yard line. Meek in the formation on the left side. It's a fake handoff to Frazier. Outlet to Meek, and Meek gets upended at the 21-yard line. Minimal gain. Sets up second down and 18. Dons huddle up here. .540 here in the second quarter. Beatty, the lone receiver on the near side. Meek and 2 receivers out to the far side of the formation. Bento drops back, steps up into the pocket, brought down from behind by one of the pass rushers. Polito chases Meek down from behind. Another flag thrown on the far side. We'll await to see. The Renegades have not been called for a penalty thus far through nearly 2 quarters of play. There's a discussion had between the coaching staff of Bakersfield. And it looks like Bakersfield's going to decline, so it is on the Dons. An illegal formation on the Santa Ana Dons. They have to have 7 players on the line, so 5 of the linemen, and then 2 receivers. Doesn't matter if it's a receiver or a tight end, but you do need those 2 other players down on the line of scrimmage. The Dons didn't that time. They did pick up a 1-yard gain. 3rd and 14 coming up for Santa Ana College. Yard to gain is the Renegades' 4-yard line. Bento with Frazier in the backfield. Hands it up to Frazier, and Frazier met at the 17. A very minimal gain. Tackle made there by Keelan Fanning. Another flag down on the far side. Could be the same penalty that the Dons were just hit with. Some miscommunication between the receivers and the tight end as far as who has to be down on the line of scrimmage. So back-to-back penalties, illegal formation. And now it looks like the Dons will send out their field goal unit. 5 minutes exactly on the scoreboard as the clock winds down here in the second quarter. Not a very windy day. It's a warm afternoon. Temperatures reach 94 here in the city of Santa Ana. But as the sun sets, it cooled down a significant amount. No wind for the kicker, Diego Hernandez, to deal with. Freshman kicker. Good snap, and it's partially blocked by Bakersfield. The ball runs into the end zone, and they whistle it dead. So the field goal is no good. 4:31 left to go in the second quarter. Renegades will take over at the 22-yard line when we come back.
This is it.
Have a good first day.
You too, Mom.
Everyone's journey looks a little different at Santa Ana College, whether you're just starting out or starting a new chapter. With flexible classes, valuable student services, and a range of degrees and certificate programs, students of all kinds can find inspiration and empowerment at Santa Ana College. Start your journey at Santa Ana College. Where it leads is up to you.
So after the blocked field goal by Wadenberger, the Renegades will start this drive at their own 20-yard line. 80 yards to go, 4:31. Both teams have all 3 timeouts left. Malachi Statler gets the start on this drive. So he now has 3 drives. Comparison to Carson Woods is 1. Play action. Statler looks deep, pressure in his face, but lots of room on the left side. He crosses the 30, and he's finally pushed out of bounds by Grant at the 41-yard line. On the play action pass, the flow was going to the far side, and so all the DBs in man coverage, no one back home on that left side of the defense. Statler makes the Dons defensive pay with a big run up to the 41-yard line, a 21-yard gain for the quarterback. Here's a handoff to Nettles. Nettles gets through the first defender and drags a couple more defenders to the Dons, to the Renegades' 47-yard line. .348 in the second quarter, clock ticking. Renegades lead 10-7 over Santa Ana College. Three receivers to the right of the formation. To pass out to Jaheim Alexander on the far side. Good coverage there as the Dons rally. 1-yard gain on the play to the 48. Tackle made by Matthew Gill. Coming from the safety position. Third and 2. Renegades huddled up, taking their time. 2:50 now in the second quarter. And now timeout is taken by the Renegades. Play clock was winding down under 5 seconds, and they still hadn't lined up in their formation. Again, my name is Noah Alvarez. Thanks for tuning in to Dons Football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. While we have this break in the action, we want to remind you, if you're interested in supporting Santa Ana College Athletics, you can scan the QR code up on your screen and make a donation. Any amount would help all the members of not only the Dons football team, but all the Dons sports. We are in the fall season, so we'll see men's and women's soccer, as well as women's volleyball and men's wrestling this fall season here at the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. And we'll stream all those games, matches that are here at home on the YouTube channel. So if you're here supporting one of the members of the football team, be sure to subscribe. That way you can get a notification the next time we go live for the Dons home game. They'll be home next on September 13th as they take on the ELAC Huskies. Remember, your donations go directly to the Santa Ana College Athletics program and help with their equipment, their travel, and any other costs that goes on during the course of the year. So after the timeout, Statler and the offense for the Renegades are facing a 3rd and 2. Dons with 4 down defensive linemen. They motion their tight end to the right side of the formation. Nettles gets the handoff, has a crease on the right side. Great block by the outside receiver, and it's finally Josh Patton who pushes out Nettles at the 29 of the Dons. A great block on the outside that allowed Nettles to get to the secondary with ease. It was the receiver out there on the far side, Amarius Rao. You don't see receivers making key impact blocks often, but he was able to push the corner. That time, Eric Ugalde on the far side towards the inside, and that allowed Nettles to cut up the sideline. 1st and 10, 2:17, nearing the 2-minute warning in the first half. A handoff to Watkins Jr. No, that's Jernigan. Jernigan drags the pile to the Dons' 24-yard line. And that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Thanks again for tuning in to Don's Football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
People always ask us, what's a Don? And our response is easy. To us, a Don is someone who embraces the grind. A Don is a person that brings passion, someone who takes advantage of all their opportunities. A leader, a dreamer, a winner. The question we have for you is, are you ready to be a Don?
Back here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel, the Renegades struck first early in the first quarter. It was a Daniel Nettles 5-yard run that made it a 7-0 game. Then the Dons responded with a 14-play, 77-yard drive as Bento found Nathan Meek for a 16-yard touchdown. That made things 7-7. Bakersfield then were able to convert on a field goal thanks to a 10-play, 72-yard drive. Carlos Villa punched it in from 21 yards out. The Dons did recently attempt a field goal, but Diego Hernandez had his field goal blocked by the corner coming off the edge, Brock Wattenberger. That blocked field goal has been the difference maker for the Renegades. They have a 10-7 lead. 2 minutes left to go. 2nd down and 4. They've had plenty of success running the ball, and I wouldn't expect that to change unless the Dons commit more men to the box. Jernigan gets the handoff on the left side, and that time the Dons do swarm. Wolf, the first person there from the linebacker position. Jernigan lucky to get to the 22-yard line. Clock runs, 1:45 in the second quarter. Substitutions made for the Renegades offense. Big 3rd down coming up. If the Dons do make a stop, they have a chance with all 3 timeouts left to try and get a score before the half comes to an end. Tight end Fowler to the left side of the formation. The handoff up the middle. Big room for the running back Nettles as he drags a defender to the 11-yard line. So they convert on another 3rd down. They're now 4 of 6 on 3rd down conversions this evening. Both teams having lots of success offensively in 3rd downs. Ball on the Dons' 12-yard line, 1st and 10. 1 minute left to go in the second quarter. Nettle stays in the game as the deep back. Another handoff up the middle. Dons close in quickly. Nettles does fight to the 7-yard line. Substitutions as a few defensive linemen come into the formation for the Dons defense. Under 40 seconds now. Renegades did huddle up, but break the huddle, playing with some more pace. 20 seconds left up on the play clock. This time a handoff up to Jernigan. Jernigan shoots ahead to the 3-yard line. The Renegades do have both their timeouts left. No timeouts have been taken just yet. And now we do have a timeout here by the Bakersfield coaching staff. 18 seconds left up on the scoreboard. It'll be 3rd and 2. The Renegades can get a 1st down before getting a touchdown. The yard to gain is the 2-yard line. Ball at the 3.5. So 3rd and about 1 coming up for the Bakersfield Renegades. Again, an upcoming look at the Dons 2025 schedule. They'll take on Chaffee on the road next week. Then we'll play host to the East Los Angeles College Huskies on September 13th. On September 20th, they'll travel to Allen Hancock. On September 27th, they'll host Citrus College here at Eddie West Field. They'll have a bye week that following week before hosting Mount SAC on Saturday, October 11th. They'll travel to Long Beach City to take on the Vikings on Saturday, October 18th. And on the 25th of October, they'll host Ventura College. In November, they'll be on the road, traveling to Moorpark College and Santa Barbara on November 8th. So that's the schedule for the 2025 season. Again, the Dons have moved up to the Northern Division. 18 seconds left. Renegades, 3.5 yards away from the end zone. They lead 10-7. They motion Fowler to the right side of the formation. It's a handoff to Jernigan. 4 members of the Dons in the backfield. A big stop. And it's a tackle for loss. Wolf there, along with his teammate Bagdanov. 2 linebackers with experience from last year. And it does look like the Bakersfield coaching staff is going to run it down to 1 second. And on this 4th down, I would expect the field goal unit to come out. Been an entertaining first half thus far. Both teams with first-year head coaches. Simon Fuentes over for the Santa Ana Dons and Ty Thompson for the Bakersfield Renegades. We'll get you some score updates as well from around the 3C2A. It's the opening week. Games kicked off last night, but plenty of ranked matchups earlier today. Southwestern pulled off a big upset over College of the Canyons, defeating them 26-24. Fullerton College defeated Moore Park 46-30. Over in the American Division, Victor Valley defeated Glendale 31-17. West LA defeated LA Valley 27-10. Also going on here in college in the Southern California area, Allen Hancock defeated Orange Coast 42-20. And we'll get you some more scores during the halftime break. Field goal unit on. Diego Villa will attempt this field goal. Ball placed on the 12-yard line. A 22-yard field goal. 1 yard longer than the 21-yarder he attempted earlier in the game. This one's up and through the uprights. And so Bakersfield takes a 13-7 lead into halftime. And my name is Noah Alvarez. We'll take a break during the halftime break. And when we come back, we'll have some stats from the first half as well as a recap of the action.
Starting your college journey is a big step. It requires discipline and dedication while you balance your work, life, and education. At Santa Ana College, you can choose a pathway that fits into your schedule and leads you toward your personal and educational goals. Earn an associate degree, university transfer, career training, or even a bachelor's degree in occupational studies. With classes available both in person and online. Gain the professionalism and confidence you need to further yourself and your career, and become a bigger part of your community. Wraparound services are available to fit your needs and provide all the necessary tools to achieve academic, personal, and career success. Start your journey at Santa Ana College. Where it leads is up to you.
I got a show today. It's all I'm trying to do. Hustle and motivate. Choppers a throwaway. Hustle the overweight. That's why they follow me, huh? They think I know the way. Cause I took control of things. Ballin' the solo way.
Life doesn't change overnight. It takes effort and dedication. It takes learning new skills and putting yourself and loved ones first. At Santa Ana College, you can complete a full-time accelerated online program in just 2 years. Choose a program that meets your needs and changes your educational dreams into a well-deserved reality. Building the life you want means taking a first step. Start your journey at Santa Ana College. Where it leads is up to you.
Back here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. My name is Noah Alvarez. Thanks for tuning into Dons football, as the Dons currently trail to the Bakersfield Renegades 13-7. We're a few minutes away from the second half of action, and let's go ahead and recap the action as things got started after Daniel Nettles punched it in from 5 yards out to give the Bakersfield Renegades a 7-0 lead. That play was set up too by the 40-yard interception return by Richard Gooden. He intercepted a pass in the end zone. Correction, it was a 60-yard return all the way down to the Dons' 40-yard line. That led to a 7-play, 40-yard drive by the Renegades. They punched it in, took a 7-0 lead. But on the following drive for the Dons, Bento led a 17-play, 77-yard drive and found Nathan Meek for a 16-yard pitch and catch. They made it a 7-7 game. The second quarter went by in a breeze, and it was only the Renegades who were able to get on the scoreboard as they punched in 2 field goals. Carlos Villa hit a 21-yard field goal with 13 minutes left to go, and then hit a 22-yard field goal as time expired. Both plays were significantly long drives, or both drives were significantly long for the Renegades. The first was a 10-play, 72-yard drive, while the second was an 8-play, 46-yard drive for the Renegades. 13-7 is the score. Some leading players in each category. Bento leads it passing-wise, 7 of 10 with 67 yards. 1 touchdown, but that 1 interception, and that's the only turnover of the game that has been the difference maker. Again, because of the 60-yard return from Gooden to take it to the Dons' 40-yard line. Malachi Statler's 4 of 6 with 38 yards. Carson Woods only saw 1 drive, and he went 0 for 1. Leading rusher of the game is Bento on the ground with 71 yards. But Daniel Nettles right behind him, 8 rushes for 70 yards. Also has the lone touchdown for the Renegades. Very identical statistics as a team for both these programs. Both teams with 10 first downs. Both teams have rushed for over 100. 144 yards for Bakersfield, 107 for Santa Ana College. The Dons have 67 yards through the air. Bakersfield only has 38. Both teams, a lot of success on third down. The Dons are 7 of 9 on third down conversions. The Bakersfield 5 of 8. Yeah, it's only a 13-7 game. Here's the kickoff. Dons and Damian Gomez return it from their own 15-yard line. He's sandwiched at the 34. And that's where the Dons will begin their first drive of the second half. Now it looks like there's a player slow to get up. That's going to be Jacob Polka. He was a redshirt freshman last year from Troy High School. Down on the ground as the trainers attend to him here. 14:54 in the third quarter while there is this break in the action. We'll throw up the donation QR code once again. We want to remind you, thanks again for supporting Santa Ana College athletics programs. Your donations go directly to assisting the Dons athletes over the course of the school year. Good sized crowd here at Eddie West Field for the 2025 season opener. Dons taking on the Bakersfield Renegades. First time these two teams have played since 2013. So you have to go back over a decade ago. Bakersfield College has been in the Northern Division, while the Dons were in the American Division for the past 7 years. Linebacker Jacob Polka gets to his feet. He'll be assisted off by some of his teammates. The Dons offense awaits to start this drive, trailing 13-7. Leading tacklers for both teams, it's Gabriel Bagdanoff who leads the Dons with 6 tackles on the evening. Right behind them is Mac Wolf and Wallace Falemu with 5. For the Renegades, Aiden Moreno and Miguel Zepeda both have 5 tackles on the evening thus far in the first half of action. Bento takes the snap. It's a counter. No, fake counter. Bento Wrestled down in the backfield. It's the first sack of the evening as he's brought down at the 23. On the first play, a sack by number 46, Miles Poole, coming off the near side defensive end. Second down and 20. Beatty, the lone receiver on the far side. Empty backfield as they motion Garan. Duran in the slot on the far side. Bento drops back, looks towards the middle, and now takes off. Maybe a quarterback design draw. It's a loss of 1 on the play. Renegades not fooled by that play call. It'll set up third down and 21. Meek checks out of the game, and in comes the receiver Emmett Grossman. We've seen a few plays of him. Only Beatty and Meek have recorded catches, along with Damian Gomez, 3 receivers. Now, timeout is called early in the second half by the Bakersfield sideline. With this timeout in the action, 13:38 left to go in the third quarter. We'll take a timeout ourselves and be right back after this commercial break.
People always ask us, what's a Don? And our response is easy. To us, a Don is someone who embraces the grind. A Don is a person that brings passion, someone who takes advantage of all their opportunities. A leader, a dreamer, a winner. The question we have for you is, are you ready to be a Don?
Thanks for tuning in to Don's Football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. Dons are led by first-year head coach Simon Fuentes. Bakersfield College led by first-year head coach Ty Thompson. Both head coaches have been a part of the program for quite some time, and both players played at their respective programs. Fuentes was a quarterback in '93 and '94, went on to transfer to Eastern Kentucky, while Thompson played defensive back from 2008 and 2009, transferred on to University of Nevada. Third and 21. Fake handoff, a screen out to Deacon Moss on the far side. Tripped up at the line of scrimmage by defensive back Nate Wallace. A correction on an earlier statement. Deacon Moss, not the stepbrother, but the brother of Beck Moss, former quarterback here for Santa Ana College 2 seasons ago. Back in 2023, he split reps with Dallin Eggman. Always cool to see brothers and other family relatives continue on playing here at Santa Ana College. Here's the punt by Devin Coleman out to the Renegades 40 and brought down at the 49-yard line near midfield. Minimal return there by Chad Sable. And that's where the Renegades will begin their next possession. 12:55 in the third quarter. Thanks again for tuning in to Don's Football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. We gave you some scores from earlier. Let's see if there's any scores going on at the moment or scores from the games going on at the moment. Carson Woods back into the game at the quarterback position. We mentioned he only got 1 drive. He was a starting quarterback for the Renegades in 2023. Handoff for a 3-yard gain to the Dons 47. That's Watkins Jr. who gets the carry. Games going on at the moment here in Southern California. Riverside City leads Long Beach City 16-3. Saddleback leads Pasadena City 21-6. College of the Desert leads LA Pierce 27-20. And Golden West leads Mount San Jacinto 17-13. Mount SAC also has a 35-20 lead at Cerritos College. Some score updates from around the 3C2A. Second down and 7, 12-10 in the third quarter. Fake handoff. Woods looks over the middle and overshoots his intended receiver Amaris Wow. One of the offensive linemen lost their helmet, Oliver Mamea. He'll have to head out for one play, at least one play, and it's a 3rd and long. The Dons have feasted in these type of opportunities the last 2 years. In 2023, they led the state with 49 sacks on the 2023 season. They had the likes of Blaze Iglesias up the middle, but guys like Zamir Richardson on the outside to generate pressure from all levels. We'll see what they do here. 3rd and 7, Woods looks to the right. Now it's a screenplay up the middle, lots of space. Ooh, and yep, the Bakersfield Renegades are going to get hit with a holding penalty. A flag thrown down at the far side, 45-yard line. So negate the big play. That's receiver Ben Spears, guilty of the hold. There was only one defender on that side. A nice play design, but Spears unable to execute the block. And we'll redo 3rd down. So the Don supporters give a round of applause on the holding penalty. That is their first penalty of the evening. They went penaltyless in the entire first half. I'm sure head coach Ty Thompson has to be very proud. The Dons were hit with 5 penalties for 68 yards. 3rd and now 15. Yard to gain is the Dons' 40-yard line. Man in motion. Sable makes a catch as he falls to the ground, but it's going to be at the Renegades' 49-yard line. Won't be enough for a 1st down, and that'll force the Renegades to send out their punt unit. The Dons do get a big stop on a short field. Gomez back deep to return, currently standing at his own 17-yard line as he backs up. Back deep to punt this one away is Brendan Gratt. His first punt went 51 yards earlier in the first half. Punt is away to Gomez. Calls for a fair catch at his own 15. And that's where the Dons will begin their second possession of the second half. 11:05 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Thanks again for tuning in to Dons Football. We'll be right back after this break.
Life doesn't change overnight. It takes effort and dedication. It takes learning new skills and putting yourself and loved ones first. At Santa Ana College, you can complete a full-time accelerated online program in just 2 years. Choose a program.
So Bento and the offense out there for the Dons, beginning their drive at the 10-yard line. It's a handoff to Frazier on the first play, and he's wrestled down in the backfield. Loss of 5. The Dons have gone backwards here in the second half. Have been unable to get a push up front as they did in the first half. We compared their first half rushing yards to the Bakersfield rushing yards. Bento with 2 receivers to each side of the formation. 2nd down and 15. Steps up in the pocket. Rolls to his right. Finds Moss on the far sideline, and he steps out of bounds at the 33. Deacon Moss is a savvy route runner from Irvine High School. Had a chance to coach against him in a few 7-on-7 circuits. Very talented receiver. True freshman as well. Both him and Malachi Beatty. True freshman making an impact for the Dons in their first game of the 2025 season. 1st down and 10, yard to gain is the Dons' 42. Bento with 3 receivers to the left of the formation. Feels the pressure, rolls out to his right and just throws this one away. All the receivers were down here on the near side of the formation. So he went against the flow of the action and will set up 2nd down and 10. Clock stops with 9:56. And at the end of the first half, the Dons had 107 rushing yards, while the Bakersfield Renegades had 144. But in their first two handoffs, first three designed run plays, the Dons have gotten negative yardage. Here's a positive gain. It's maybe half a yard that Frazier gains as he's met by a wall of Renegades defenders. In on the stop is Rivas Jr. along with Matthew Sosa. As the Renegades now make some substitutions on the defensive line. Gomez, Moss, and Grossman, the three receivers down here on the near side. Beatty, all by himself on the far. 3rd and 9. More pressure. Bento escapes out of the pocket somehow, finds his running back Frazier all by himself. He crosses the 40, gets enough for a first down, and is tackled near the far sideline. Down at the Dons 44. Man, Bento is so fun to watch in the backfield. He's a magician back there, able to escape almost like a boxer the way he moves around in the pocket. That time he spun out, rolled to his right, was able to make an accurate throw on the run. 1st down and 10. Dons near midfield. Meek back in the game, now on the right side of the formation. Frazier the deep back. It's a fake handoff to Frazier. On the run, Meek takes the shot, he has Moss. Moss lays out and can't make the catch. Overthrown by maybe an inch or two. As I'm sure Bento wishes he had that one back. 2nd down and 10, 8:49, the clock stops. Braden Dowden comes in for Moss as he gets a breather. First deep shot we've seen since the interception that Bento threw in the first half, in the first quarter. And that interception was really the difference maker, as the defensive back Richard Gooden was able to take it on a 60-yard return down to the Dons 40, and that set them up for the first score of the game. 2nd down and 10. Bento keeps it on the right side, rumbles ahead. He's a big body, stands at 6'4", and he carries a few defenders with him down to the Renegades 47-yard line. 3rd and 1 coming up. Yard to gain is the 46. 6'4", listed at 225 pounds. Sophomore from El Dorado High School. Rushed for 625 yards last season. That time, tried to use the hard count, but it's the right tackle who moves, and he's guilty of the false start. So now a 3rd and 6. Due up for the Dons. Meek to the right of the formation. Beatty here on the near side. Bento drops back. Looks over the middle. Again, escapes from pressure. Rolling to his right, has space, and is pushed forward past the first down chain. Another 3rd down conversion for the Dons offense. Ooh, wow, it's a favorable spot for the Renegades. They mark it down at the Renegades 47-yard line. It did look like with that push from behind, Bento was pushed ahead of the 46-yard line, which is a yard marker. Instead, it's 4th and 1. We'll see what the Dons do here. Their offense stays on the field. Simon Fuentes and the coaching staff. New offensive coordinator Fred Romo signal in the plays. 7:20 left to go in the 3rd quarter. And now there's going to be a timeout taken from the Santa Ana Dons sideline. We'll wait to see what they do after the timeout break. And my name is Noah Alvarez. Thanks for tuning in to Dons football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel while there is this break in the action. Do want to remind you, if you're feeling generous and you have the means to do so, please support Santa Ana College Athletics. We sincerely thank you for your generous donation to Santa Ana College Athletics and SAC Sports Information. Your support goes directly toward to helping our student athletes thrive both on and off the field. Because of your donation, These athletes will have the tools, resources, and opportunities to continue competing at their best and representing Santa Ana College with pride. Your commitment truly makes a difference. We appreciate you being a part of the Santa Ana College family. So after the timeout, 4th and 1, due up for the Dons. We'll see what head coach Simon Fuentes and offensive coordinator Fred Romo have in mind on this big 4th down. They converted 1 4th down in the first half. So 1-on-1 on the season. Bento with Meek to the right of the formation. Frazier the deep back. It's a handoff to Frazier. He bounces to the right tackle and gets enough for a first down. To the Renegades' 45-yard line, just enough. The sophomore from Villa Park did get some handoffs last season, 45 carries for 169 yards, as he sat behind Saucedo and Smith. First down and 10. Yardage gain is a 35. Just under 7 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Another long drive here for the Dons. Bento drops back, looks right, has Moss. Moss comes down to a knee to make the grab. Gain of 7. Second down and 4. Two receivers down to the bottom of the formation. Meek on the right. Bento takes another shot to Moss. Moss ahead of his defender. Makes his first touchdown reception of the 2025 season. And the Dons tie things up 13-all with 6:17 left to go in the third quarter. So we saw a very similar shot taken earlier by Bento as he escaped the pocket, throwing on the run to his left, but he overshot Moss by maybe an inch or two. That time, Bento rolls to his right, takes the shot, and Moss able to haul it in for a touchdown here in the third quarter. Dons could go up pending the extra point by Diego Hernandez. Good snap. The kick is up. And through the uprights for the 7th point of the drive. Dons take their first lead here of the 2025 season. They lead Bakersfield 14-13 with 6:17 left in the third quarter. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
Life doesn't change overnight. It takes effort and dedication. It takes learning new skills and putting yourself and loved ones first. At Santa Ana College, you can complete a full-time accelerated online program in just 2 years. Choose a program that meets your needs and changes your educational dreams into a well-deserved reality. Building the life you want means taking a first step. Start your journey at Santa Ana College, where it leads.
So the kickoff goes to the 15, and it's fair caught by Jadaniel Nattles. A 39-yard pitch and catch from Nate Bento to Deacon Moss. That gives the Dons their first lead of the season. 14-13 is the score. We'll wait to see how the Renegades respond. The last drive, they went with Carson Woods, and the drive stalled out. He's now gotten 2 drives on the evening, while the other quarterback, Malachi Statler, has gotten 4. But Woods returns for another drive. Again, Woods was the starter in 2023 and transferred to the University of North Texas, but didn't get any playing time, so came back to Bakersfield College. You don't see that all too often, a player transferring, then coming back to the college that they spent at the community college level already. Threw for 2,600 yards in that 2023 season. They motion Sabal to the near side of the formation. Here's a throw to the window of Kasinger, but Kasinger can't hang on. Second down and 10 coming up for the Dons. We'll see if the Dons can force another third down stop. They did get a 3-and-out early on in the game, but since then, Bakersfield Renegades are 5 of 8 on third down conversions. Both teams doing well on third down. Dons are 8 of 12. Second down and 10. Sable also in motion, just as he was the last play. This time it's a handoff to Nettles. Big tackle there by the linebacker, Mac Wolf. Correction, that's Isaac Real at the linebacker position, wearing number 49. Again, forgive us with these numbers. The metallic silver numbers on the red uniforms, very hard to see up from the press box. Nonetheless, it's 3rd and 6. Sable in motion one more time. A rollout here to the near side. Sable all by himself, catches it at the 33, but he's swarmed right there on the near sideline by 3 Dons defenders. Riker Scott was one of the defenders there. It does look like it's going to be short of the first down marker. The yard to gain was the 35. Renegades unable to get there, and so the Dons forced a 3 and out. Big stop there for defensive coordinator Adam Nyson. Renegades come out in their punt formation. Grant standing at his own 20. Play clock hits 0. And we'll see. It is a delay of game penalty on the Renegades. So miscommunication. Back them up 5 yards. Their second penalty of the evening. Dons have now 6 penalties. Grant standing at his own 13-yard line. Gomez standing at his own 32 as he creeps up. Low snap. Grant lucky to get this one away. This time it bounces near midfield and does take a Renegade-friendly bounce. There's a penalty flag thrown in the backfield. There was pressure in the face of Grant. Unsure if one of the Dons defenders made unnecessary contact. It did look like the punt was tipped. That would negate a roughing the kicker penalty. But the referees are having a discussion near the 41-yard line. So we'll wait to see if the Dons get another chance on offense or if the defense will have to stay on the field. Ball currently placed on the Dons 42. That's where they would begin this drive. Does look like the punt unit returns back out onto the field for Bakersfield College. 4:49 left to go in the third quarter. Still awaiting a call from the referees this evening. Dons lead 14-13. So it's a running into the kicker penalty, not the roughing the kicker. A 5-yard versus a 15-yard penalty. And the Renegades have elected to redo the punt. It'll be 4th and 2. It's the third time that the punt unit has taken a snap. The first was a delay of game penalty on the Renegades. The last was the punt we just saw where it was partially blocked, but there was a penalty on the Dons. So third attempt here by Grant in the punt unit. Gomez stands at his own 30. Clean snap. Grant gets a high one, doesn't go very far, and drifts out of bounds just past midfield. We'll see where they spot this ball, but the Dons are going to have favorable field position at their own 49-yard line. So that's where they'll begin this next drive. First down and 10, 4:34 here in the third quarter. Bento in the offense, march back out from the huddle. Their last drive was an 11-play, 85-yard drive, capped off by the 39-yard pass from Bento to Moss. Moss here on the near side of the formation. Meek also here on the near side. Bento looks that way, tries to get it to Moss over the middle, and it's tipped up into the air, nearly an interception by Keelan Fanning. So Fanning able to get a hand on it. Moss had one-on-one coverage and a lot of cushion, but Bento unable to connect. Clock stops with 4:29. Second down and 10. Duran in the backfield this time. Gomez in the slot to the far side. Grossman, far receiver. Duran gets it up the middle. Keeps the feet churning. And gets to the Renegades' 47-yard line. Gain of 4. Sets up third down and 6. Yard to gain is the Renegades' 41. Ball on the near hash. Don's going from right to left. First lead of the 2025 season. Meek to the left of the formation. Bento looks that way. Hits Moss. Moss makes to the first the defender miss. Back jukes a couple more defenders. And finally gets brought down at the 32. There you see the shiftiness and the run after catch ability by Deacon Moss, the freshman from Irvine High School. That last catch, his 5th reception of the evening. He didn't have any going into the half. Now has 5 and leads the team. Second receiver, leading receiver, is Nathan Meek, the tight end. First down and 10, yard to gain. Renegades' 24-yard line. Audible made by the Santa Ana Dawn sideline. Bento relays the message to his line. Drops back, looks middle. Has time, now steps up into the pocket and swims. Spins out of the trouble, brought down at the 30. Bento has a habit of making something out of nothing. That time pressure got into his face, but he was able to spin and fall forward. And instead of a loss on the play, it's a 4-yard gain. Second down and 6. Malachi Beatty, the lone receiver here on the near sideline. Handoff up the middle to Duran. Duran loses the ball, does pop back on it. We'll see if he was able to hang on to possession. And now there's a flag thrown here on the near side. Malik Pia was able to drive one of the defenders all the way down to the ground on the near side. Malik Pia can't believe the call. That's just some good old-fashioned bully ball there by the offensive lineman. The only sophomore on the offensive line. He started at center all 10 games last year, but gets to start at left tackle this season in tonight's contest. And they're going to say it's after the play was over, so Pia wasn't able to hear the whistle and drove his defender into the ground. You like the aggressiveness there by the offensive lineman, but it cost the Dons 15 yards. They've been the more penalized team in today's contest. Despite that, they still have a 1-point lead. The ball backs up to the Renegades' 46. And because it was after the play, it's now third down. They don't redo second down. Third and 21, yard to gain is the 24-yard line. Let's see what the Dons coaching staff has drawn up. Moss back into the game on the far side. Fake handoff to Duran. Meek looks to take a shot deep. to Moss, but right there in coverage, it's another interception by Richard Gooden. Gooden has some lead blockers in front on the near hash. Gets another key block there as he passes the 40. Spins down at the 47, taken down by the running back, Jerron. Second interception of the evening for the defensive back for Bakersfield College. That time it was a costly one, as Bento wanted to take a shot deep down the field, but did not see the safety over the top. Looked like he was running the route for Moss, about 3 or 4 yards ahead of him. And the Renegades get the ball at their own 47-yard line. 2:18 left to go in the third quarter. We'll see how the Bakersfield Renegades respond. Defense back onto the field for the Dons. This time it is Malachi Statler. He's been more productive at the quarterback position of the two. Handoff up the middle to Jerrigan. Jerrigan wrestled down at the 50. Flag thrown on the far side. We'll await to see what the call is. So an illegal shift on the offense. It's going to cost the Renegades 5 more yards. First down and 15 due up for Bakersfield. Both head coach Ty Thompson of the Renegades and Simon Fuentes of the Santa Ana Dons looking for their first win of their career as the head coach of their programs. Mac Wolf and Isaac Real in at linebacker for the Dons. Statler looks to pass and throws this one short of his intended target. Spears out on the near sideline. Man in coverage is Jacob Gadsden. Down on the defensive line at the moment, Abraham Alcantar, along with Julian Singwamani. Riker Scott, the near side defensive lineman. And on the far side, Elijah Castaneda. Two receivers bunched on the near side. He has a handoff. And no room for Jernigan there. He's met behind the line of scrimmage. First defender there is Wallace Falemu. Falemu, a freshman, playing that nickel position. Freshman from Orange Lutheran High School. That's one of the Trinity League schools that play in the likes of Mater Dei, J. Sarah, along with Rancho Santa Margarita, St. John Bosco. A lot of top programs in the Southern California and really in all of high school. Falemo making an impact early on in his Don's career. They're down in 16 after the negative play. Statler drops back. Another screen here on the near side, and there's no one home. Snuffing that one out is Abraham Tolliver. He read screen all the way and was able to get in the grill of the running back Jernigan. And so that time Statler just had to throw it over his intended target. That's going to force another 3 and out. 3 possessions for the Renegades this second half, and all 3 have resulted in punts. Nice defensive stand here to begin the third quarter. 1:07 left to go in the third. Gomez back deep to return at his own 22-yard line. Gratt at his own 26. Gets this one away towards the middle of the field. Gomez steps up and now lets this one bounce. That time the Renegades try and push one of the Dons players into the ball. You can do that. It is not a penalty, but they were unsuccessful in doing so. 54 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Thanks again for tuning in to Don's Football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. My name is Noah Alvarez. Dons lead 14-13. So Bento on the offense, start on the near hash at the 19-yard line. Meek in motion to hand off to Frazier up the middle. Decent gain as he's wrestled down at the 23-yard line. The run game has been a staple for the Dons the past few seasons. And even going back to the 1994 season when Simon Fuentes was the head of the program, Fuentes had a few talented running backs at his disposal. As the Dons went on to win the Mission Conference that season, finished that year 9-2. And Fuentes was later named the Mission Conference Player of the Year. 2nd down and 6. Bento steps up into the pocket, finds his tight end, Meek, tripped up at the 45. His 5th catch of the evening and his first of the second half. 10 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. We'll see if the Dons hurry to get another playoff or just let the clock run out. Ball on the 46, on the near hash, and the Dons do start heading towards the sideline. So at the end of 3 quarters, Dons have a 14-13 lead. When we come back, we'll have the 4th quarter of action. An exciting finish brewing here from Eddie West Field on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel.
Life doesn't change overnight. It takes effort and dedication. It takes learning new skills and putting yourself and loved ones first. At Santa Ana College, you can complete a full-time accelerated online program in just 2 years. Choose a program that meets your needs and changes your educational dreams into a well-deserved reality. Building the life you want means taking a first step. Start your journey at Santa Ana College. Where it leads is up to you.
I got a show today. It's all I'm trying to do. Hustle and motivate. Choppers a throwaway. Hustle the overweight. That's why they follow me, huh? They think I know the way. 'Cause I took control of things. Ballin' the solo way.
Back here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel. It's been a quiet second half in the sense of scoring. The Bakersfield Renegades had a 13-7 lead going into the half, but the Dons are the only ones able to score in the 3rd quarter. It was a 39-yard pass from Nate Bento to Deacon Moss that gave them a 14-13 lead. It capped off an 11-play, 85-yard drive. And the 3 drives here in the 3rd quarter by Bakersfield College have all resulted in punts. So the Dons defense has been able to make stands. There's been 3 straight 3-and-outs by the Dons defense as the Renegades offense has gone cold. It's the final quarter of action. 1st down and 10. Yard to gain is the Renegades' 44-yard line. Ball on the Dons' 46. Bento back in at quarterback. Zach Bogdan, the tight end, on the near side of the formation. Bento fakes the handoff to Frazier. He's met up the middle. The ball comes out, and it goes right to the defender. And he's finally brought down from behind at the 31. So with the fumble recovery, it's Keelan Fanning. We've called his name a few times. And another big turnover. The Dons have turned the ball over 3 times. 2 interceptions and now a fumble, all by the quarterback, Bento. So now Bakersfield with some momentum. We'll see what they do here. Final quarter of action, 14:50 up on the scoreboard. Renegades trail by 1. Malachi Statler. They have not picked up a 1st down in the 2nd half. We'll see if that changes. Fowler in motion. A handoff to Watkins Jr. Not a whole lot of room. He does get to the 30-yard line. They now move it to the 29. Gain of 3. We'll see if the Dons can make another defensive stand. They forced 3 3-and-outs in the 3rd quarter. First 2 drives went to Carson Woods, starting quarterback from 2 seasons ago. And when talking with head coach Ty Thompson, he said that both quarterbacks were going to get equal amount of playing time. Fake toss. Now Thompson looks down the field, and he can't connect with his receiver. There was lots of space there for his receiver, Spears. Statler unable to connect. It's now 3rd down and 7. 3rd and 7 coming up for the Renegades. Maybe a bit too far out of field goal territory. They'll want to at least get 6 or 7 yards here to give them a chance at going for a 4th down. They've yet to convert a 3rd down here in the second half of action. Statler with 2 receivers out to the left of the formation. Pressure up the middle. He does find his receiver, Sable, and Sable gets tackled at the 20-yard line. So the first down of the second half, a pitch and catch. Statler to Sable. 14 minutes left to go. And the Renegades are in the red zone. We'll see if the Dons can force a turnover themselves. Fowler, the tight end, on the near side of the formation. Ball on the far hash. It's a handoff to Nettles. Nettles keeps his feet going. And that second effort gets him all the way down to the 13-yard line. He looks to be stopped at the 16, but somehow able to bounce off the defender's tackle attempt. The Renegades defense has forced 3 turnovers. And the Dons, who in seasons past have been very turnover happy, this evening thus far, has unable to force a turnover. 2nd down and 2. Yard to gain is the Dons' 10-yard line. Another handoff up the middle to Nettles. Shoots ahead, passes the 10-yard line, and down at the 4. Nettles has a lot more success running the ball, and the Renegades are going to try and catch the Dons making some substitutions. Here's another quick snap. This time a handoff up to Nettles, up the middle. He gets tripped up at the 1-yard line. There is a flag, and it could be that the Dons had too many players on the field. The only big plays the Dons have had this evening are the 2 sacks that they recorded, but no turnovers in today's contest. The referees are talking things over. There might have been too many men on the field or somebody lined up offsides as there was a couple players running on as the Renegades did snap the ball quickly. Renegades are huddled up, ready to go on the next play. But the referee has not made a call. 12:44, clock is stopped here in the 4th quarter. Both teams, no, Bakersfield has 3 timeouts. Santa Ana College has 2 timeouts remaining. Head referee tells the Renegades to go back to their huddle as there's still a discussion. So it is an offsides penalty. A couple players running onto the field. Too many men on the field is the call as well. A few penalties called on the Santa Ana Dons. That'll set up 1st down and goal from the 2-yard line as they look to punch it in and retake the lead with 12:44 left to go in the 4th quarter. I formation, they have a fullback. Nettles is the D-back. Handoff right up the middle. Another penetration play made there by Mac Wolf, the linebacker. Coming over from the left side of the defense. Clock continues to run. Ball still at the 2-yard line, so no gain on the play by Nettles. I formation. Sable the only receiver on the far side, a tight end to each side of the formation. Statler under center. It's a play action all by himself in the back of the end zone is Fowler, and the Renegades retake the lead. 19-14 with 12:04 in the 4th quarter. A 2-yard pitch and catch from Statler to Fowler. Nobody for the Dons defense was thinking pass there as Fowler was all by himself. And it looks like the Renegades are going to go for 2. An extra point would only put them up by 6. So they want to convert this 2-point conversion, giving them a 7-point lead. That way, if the Dons do drive down and score, it's a tie game rather than them trailing. Sable in motion to the right side of the formation. No one went with him, and he's wide open. He makes the catch in the end zone. A successful play call there by the Renegades. Miscommunication on the back end of the Dons defense. 21-14 is the score. The Renegades and the Dons going back and forth here in the second half. We'll see how the Dons respond with 12:04 remaining.
People always ask us, what's a Don? And our response is easy. To us, a Don is someone who embraces the grind. A Don is a person that brings passion. Someone who takes advantage of all their opportunities. A leader, a dreamer, a winner. The question we have for you is, are you ready to be a Don?
Bakersfield kicks it off deep for the first time this evening. Gomez takes it at the goal line. Not a whole lot of blocking in front of him. He's spun down at the 20-yard line. And that's where the Dons will begin this offensive possession. 3 turnovers on the day by the Dons offense. The last was a fumble by Nate Bento. He's done an exceptional job on extending plays, finding his receivers down the field when he scrambles. But he has thrown 2 interceptions. And he has fumbled the ball. He does have 183 yards through the air and 63 yards on the ground. So he has helped keep this team in it. But it's almost as if it's high risk, high reward in that time. And his last drive, the risk ended up hurting the Dons as he put the ball on the ground. 11:55 left to go. The first play call is a handoff to Frazier. Gain of about 1. Second down and 9 coming up. To hand off to actually Anthony Abad. So the first we're seeing of Anthony Abad, no Frazier or Duran in the game at the moment in the fourth quarter. Bento with 2 receivers to each side. Quick pass to his receiver Grossman. Grossman makes the catch. Steps out of bounds at the 26. 3rd and 4 coming up for the Dons. Big 3rd down conversion here. Renegades lead 21-14. Moss, receiver in the slot on the near side. Gomez in the slot on the far side. Another quick pass, this time to Moss. He makes the catch, passes the 35, and steps out of bounds at the 36. Enough for a first down. Lots of cushion by the Renegade defensive backs. A lot of respect for the freshman receiver, and he's made them pay even over the top a few times this evening. Dons go no huddle on the near hash. Fake handoff to Abad. Bento keeps it. Brought down at the 39. The Dons have had plenty of long drives this evening already. They had a 14-play, 77-yard drive. They also had a 11-play, 85-yard drive in the 3rd quarter. As they've been able to find a way to continue moving the ball against the Renegades defense. Pressure comes as the Renegades blitz 6. That time Beatty makes the catch across midfield. It's another Dons first down. 10:13 left to go in the 4th quarter. Dons have found a groove offensively compared to the first half, both on the ground and through the air. Moving the ball with ease on the Renegades defense. It's just been the turnovers that have cost them. 3 turnovers this evening, 2 interceptions and 1 fumble put on the ground by Bento. First down and 10. Abad gets the handoff up the middle. Finds a gap and gets to the 46-yard line. Dons are in Renegades territory. Beatty comes off the field. Looks like Grossman checks back in. Bento drops back, looks to the left of the formation. More cushion given to Damian Gomez, and he makes the Renegades defense pay. Very easy pitches and catches the Dons are doing right now to the Renegades defense. Lots of cushion given by the Renegades defensive backs. More substitutions at the defensive line position for the Renegades defense. 8:56 now. A draw play to Abad up the middle. Does have some room, and he's brought down at the 34-yard line. Very methodical this drive already. Dons in Renegades territory at the Renegades 34-yard line. This will be the 8th play of the drive. 2 receivers to each side of the formation. Another handoff to Abad up the middle. Lots of room for the freshman, but the ball does come out. Another turnover there by the Dons, and the Renegades recover. The 4th turnover by the Dons defense, and that time it's at a very costly moment late in the 4th quarter. 8:15 left to go. The Renegades celebrate on their sideline. And a bit surprised to see the freshman Anthony Abad in the game. He's a freshman from Sonora High School. When you have a sophomore like Ethan Frazier and the freshman Brandon Duran who started the game, maybe the other 2 players are dealing with an injury. Don't see anything or any of the 2 at the trainer's table. But they gave Abad a chance. He did have some successful runs earlier in that drive, but that time he coughs it up, puts it onto the ground, and instead it's Carson Woods and the Renegades offense who begin their possession at the 13-yard line. A handoff up the middle. They do get to the 15. That was to Jernigan. So 4 turnovers, all by the Dons offense. 7:55, clock is ticking. Renegades look to run off more clock. Dons do have 2 timeouts remaining. If the Renegades are able to get a first down, that would really chew off more time, prevent the Dons from being able to make a comeback. Here's a pass down to the near sideline, but it's tipped away, broken up in the backfield by the defensive lineman in pursuit. And those numbers are so hard to read up here. So after the big deflection, the clock is stopped at 7:33. 3 receivers bunched out to the far side of the formation. And before this 3rd and 8 play, head coach Ty Thompson wants to talk things over with his offense. 7:33 left to go in this ball game. Dons trail by 7. When we come back, we'll have the final 7.5 minutes of action.
Starting your college journey is a big step. It requires discipline and dedication while you balance your work, life, and education. At Santa Ana College, you can choose a pathway that fits into your schedule and leads you toward your personal and educational goals. Earn an associate degree, university transfer, career training, or even a bachelor's degree in occupational studies. With classes available both in person and online. Gain the professionalism and confidence you need to further yourself and your career. And become a bigger part of your community. Wraparound services are available to fit your needs and provide all the necessary tools to achieve academic, personal, and
Big third down here for the Dons defense as they need to stop in the worst of ways. They trail 21-14, 7:33 left to go in the fourth quarter. Woods drops back, looks towards the near sideline and connects with the receiver, and it's a missed tackle there by Grant. The receiver cuts inside and does step out of the bounds as he crosses midfield out at the Dons' 48-yard line. Grant whiffed on the tackle in one-on-one coverage, and that was Ben Spears with the reception. Big conversion there for the Bakersfield Renegades. And the odds of the Dons coming back to at least tie things up become even slimmer now after the third down conversion. Spears is the lone receiver on the near side. Two running backs in the backfield with Carson Woods. Play action. No one covering the running back, and Nettles makes a tough catch on the near side at the 37. The Don sideline wants an incomplete. They think it hit the turf, but from our angle here, Nettles was able to go down and grab that one. An acrobatic catch by the running back out of the backfield, the sophomore. Getting a big pass on third down by Carson Woods, his third completion of the evening. He's now 3 of 7 through the air. Hasn't had a whole lot of opportunity. Made the most of it there on that third down. 6:20 left to go. First down and 10. Another fresh set of downs. A handoff up the middle. Jernigan putting it to the defense as he drags Don's defenders to the 29. Bakersfield huddled up as they look to take off more time off the clock. Under 6 minutes left to go. They lead by 7. A score here pretty much seal a victory for the Renegades. And first-year head coach Ty Thompson would earn his first victory. If the Dons are able to force a stop and get a turnover somehow, gives head coach Simon Fuentes a chance. Hand off to Nettles. Nettles has space on the near side. Gets past the 15 and is out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Nettles has really gashed the Dons defense this evening after that last rush. He now has 106 yards on the evening. Big day for the sophomore. First down and 10. Ball on the Dons' 19-yard line. The Renegades are in the red zone. The Renegades now have 180 yards on the ground. Two backs in the backfield, Nettles and Jernigan. Jernigan gets the handoff, cuts up the middle, falls forward to the 8-yard line. Almost 200 rushing yards on the ground for the Renegades this evening, as they've really taken it to the Dons front. The Dons and many other teams at this level run that 4-2-5. But the defensive line unable to hold their ground as we've seen in years past. Five seconds left on the play clock. Woods in the offense, still confused at where they're supposed to be lined up. And head coach Ty Thompson's going to have to burn another timeout. Their second timeout used in the second half. 4:13 left to go in the fourth quarter. My name is Noah Alvarez. Thanks for tuning in wherever you may be tuning in from. The next time the Dons will be home will be on September 13th. They'll host the ELAC Huskies. Kickoff starts at 6 p.m. that evening. They'll have 2 home games in the month of September as they host Citrus College. The Citrus Owls come to town on September 27th. Kickoff also at 6 p.m. In October, kickoffs do change to 1 o'clock. It's actually only the Ventura College game. Mount SAC will kick off at 6 p.m. So 5 home games for the Dons this year. 1 in August, 2 in September, 2 in October, and none in November. and we'll wait to see if they can make a bowl. Again, they're in the Northern Division. That's the higher division of the two. They've been in the American Division the past 7 years. Did make bowl games in the last 3 seasons. They've had 2 straight winning seasons. 2nd down and 5, 4:13 left to go in this game. Sable motions across the formation. Woods fakes the handoff. Sable all by himself again, but this time unable to hang on. Bakersfield has found a weakness. As the Dons run a lot of man-to-man, they motion Sable and no one runs with him and no one bumps over in coverage. And because of that, he's been wide open on that same play 3 different times now. So miscommunication on the back end. Grant comes out of the game. Now it's 3rd and 5. Clock does stop. Surprised to see the Renegades pass on that play as they try and chew as much time off the clock as possible. 4:08 left to go in this game. Nettles in the backfield. This time the Dons do run with Sable, the man in motion. It's a pass to Sable. Sable makes the catch, and he's brought down right at the 3-yard line. That should be enough for a 1st down. There is a flag that was thrown from the far side. So head referee Alex Lee gives us the sign, and it's an illegal shift. So an illegal motion used there by Sable. He must have been heading up the field on that motion. Clock stops again with 4:03. That'll set up 3rd down and 10. We'll see how that affects the Renegades play call here. Woods. The new tight end, the first we're seeing of Brett Jones late in the 4th quarter to the right of the formation. He brings in his receiver Spears closer to the formation. Jernigan in the backfield. No, it's Watkins Jr. Watkins Jr. gets it, goes to the left side, lots of room, and he outruns the linebacker, and that'll seal it. 27-14 with under 4 minutes left to go. It's now a 2-score advantage for Bakersfield College as they look to hang on for the first victory of the 2025 season. Design draw play as Woods was rolling out towards his right. Watkins Jr. waited patiently for the handoff. Lots of room on the left side as the entire defense flowed that direction. In steps the kicker Carlos Villa. He makes it a 28-14 game. 2-score advantage for the Bakersfield Renegades as they look to start off the 2025 season with the win. The Dons do have 2 timeouts remaining. 3:49 left to go in this one. Clock will stop on the 2-minute timeout, but they're going to need some good luck in their fortune. Carter Colasar will kick things off. Ball placed at the 35-yard line. Gomez back deep to return on the far side. Looks like somebody different here on the near side. Earlier in the game was Matthew Gill, but it's not Matthew Gill back to deep. Return with Gomez this time. Kick does go to Gomez. He takes it from the 7-yard line. Heads up the far side and does get to the 26. So that's where the Dons will begin what could be their last drive of the opening game. Bento and the offensive line huddle up with head coach Simon Fuentes before they go out. Again, it's been a heroic effort by Bento offensively. 216 yards through the air, 67 yards on the ground, nearly 300 yards of offense by himself. But 2 interceptions and a fumble have cost the Dons a chance to come out with the victory, along with another fumble Put on the ground by Anthony Abad. Bento takes a shot towards Beatty on the far side. 2 men in coverage that way. Wallace was the corner. Aiden Moreno, the safety over the top. 2nd down and 10 coming up. Gomez and Grossman, the 2 receivers on the near side of the formation. Hamas and Beatty on the far side. Duran, the deep back. Bento steps up in the pocket and may have tripped on one of his offensive lineman's legs. There was a defender who ran past him as he stepped up, but I don't think he made contact. It was one of the legs of the offensive lineman. Now 3rd and 13 after the loss of 3. Play call comes in from the sideline. Clock stopped with 3:07. Big 3rd down here for the Dons. Bento steps up. Pressure in his face. And he's brought down. 2 men in the backfield for the Bakersfield Renegades. First man to get there was Brody Herda. And the second man was Carson Moore. Herda and Moore. There's another player slow to get up. It looks like it's Grayson Rogers, one of the sophomores. The Renegades have 40 sophomores on the roster, and that should all but seal it. 4th down and 20 coming up as they attend to the injured player down on the field. With the injury, we'll take a timeout ourselves and be back with the action. Fourth down and 20. Yard to gain is the 35. Bento and the Dons offense march back out onto the field. He's quickly rushed out of the pocket. He's brought down from behind at the 20-yard line, and the flag comes on late. So Bento may have drawn a horse collar tackle there. Defender was Thomas Struck, one of the DBs to the near side. The referees are going to talk things over. Again, Alex Lee is the head referee this evening, wearing the white hat. So it is a horse collar penalty. And it is an automatic first down. So new life here for the Santa Ana Dons. We'll see what they can do with this opportunity. 2:34 left to go. 2 timeouts left and the 2-minute timeout. They trail by 2 scores. They need a touchdown, convert on the extra point, go for the onside kick, recover it, and then grab another touchdown. The odds are slim, but Bento in the offense. Line back up for this first down play. It's a draw to Garan up the middle. Garan nowhere to go as he's wrestled down. Back at the line of scrimmage by Pulido. It's a loss of 1 on the play. Don't think the Dons will call another play before the 2-minute timeout. Clock is stopped at 2 minutes exactly in the 4th quarter. Again, thanks for tuning into Dons football. It's the season opener of the 2025 season. Just to recap or look ahead at the upcoming schedule, they'll travel to Chaffey College on the road. That's in Rancho Cucamonga next week, September 6th. And on Saturday, September 13th, they'll host the ELAC Huskies. Kickoff at 6 p.m. They'll travel to Allen Hancock, and that'll be the first conference game as they're now in the Northern League in the National Division. So they'll travel to Allen Hancock on Saturday, September 20th, then host Citrus College on Saturday, September 27th. They'll host Mount SAC, the reigning runner-up in the 3C2A last year, and a very prolific program. That'll be on October 11th. They'll travel to Long Beach City College on October 18th. And October 25th, they'll host Ventura College at 1 p.m. In November, they're all on the road. They travel to Moore Park on November 1st and travel to Santa Barbara City College on Saturday, November 8th. That's the schedule for the 2025 season and your Santa Ana Dons. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. You'll get a notification every time we go live here from Eddie West Field, along with the other sports. Bento drops back, looks left. Tight window, and it's out of the hands of his intended target, Grossman. Again, this fall we'll also have the broadcast of women's and men's soccer, women's volleyball, and men's wrestling. The sports in action this fall season. We'll have men's soccer this upcoming Tuesday, along with women's volleyball on Wednesday and Thursday. They're down in 11. Bento rolls out to his left, throws on the run, and it's well wide as it drifts out of bounds. 1:48, 4th down and 11. Offense will stay onto the field. Fourth down and 11, two receivers to each side of the formation. Deacon Moss is the slot receiver to the far side. Teron is the deep back. Bento steps up into the pocket, now takes off, crosses the 40, crosses the 45, still on his feet, past midfield. Oh my gosh, look at Bento go. Lowers the shoulder and gets to the 46. Bento runs with power at that 6'4" frame, but also has the elusiveness of a much smaller and lighter runner. That time comes up very slow, maybe out of breath or just a bit sore after that collision there at the very end. That's one thing to keep in mind this season too, and in tonight's game. Bento did suffer 2 injuries last year and missed a game and a half. He missed the last game of the season, or last regular season game, and that forced the Dons to play in the Western State Bowl rather than the American Division Championship. He took a big shot at the end of the Chaffee College game that forced him to miss the game against College of the Desert. The Dons didn't have a backup quarterback that was able to lead them to a victory in that last game. I'm not sure what their depth chart looks like at the quarterback position this year, but if you take Bento away from the offense just this evening, this offense would look a lot differently. So you want to make sure Bento stays healthy. This game all but over with a minute 34 left to go, and they're down by 2 scores. So you don't want Bento to take any more unnecessary hits. That way you can last the rest of the season. After the timeout, 1st down and 10. Ball on the 46. Yard to gain is the 36. Bento drops back. Looks left. Airs it out for his receiver, Grossman, and nice coverage there by Wattenberger. No, that's Nate Wallace in coverage, wearing number 20. Another deep pass attempt there by the Dons offense. But now that the Renegades know that the Dons have no option other than to pass, they're sitting back in coverage, giving themselves lots of cushion. Bento now 18 of 25 on the evening, 216 yards through the air. .82 yards on the ground after that last run. 2nd down and 10. Try to flip it out to Geron. This one's batted away by defensive end Carson Moore. 1:24 left to go. Clock stopped. here late in the fourth quarter. The Dons finished 8-3 last season. They finished 9-2 in the 2023 season. They've had back-to-back winning seasons. In 2022, they went 5-5. Third down and 10. Bento looks left, does hit his receiver's hands, but unable to make the catch is Fabrioso Ramirez. The freshman from Savannah High School, unable to haul that one in. Fourth down and 10. A nice bounce back for the Renegades, who were trailing 14-13 in the third quarter. 14 unanswered points to end this game. And we're able to do it on both sides, come up with some stops defensively, force some turnovers, and offensively just continue to put it on the ground and bully the Dons' defensive line. Bento does escape out of the pocket somehow to his left one more time. A tight window on the far side, and he can't complete that one. Jadaniel Nettles finishes the leading rusher with 107 yards on the ground. Jernigan has 50. Watkins Jr. has 36. It's been that kind of day for the Bakersfield offensive ground game. 317 total yards of offense, 214 of that on the ground. And that was fourth down and 10. So the Dons turn things over on downs. 1:10 left to go in this one. The Renegades will come out victorious. They'll start the season 1-0 for Bakersfield. Their upcoming schedule will look like this. They'll host Allen Hancock next week at 4 p.m. Travel to Ventura College on Saturday, September 13th. Host Golden West College on Saturday, September 20th. And then travel to Pasadena City on September 27th. Woods hands it off to one of the backups. Number 48, Britton Brown. First handoff he's seeing of the evening. We'll check the scoreboard, too, from around the 3C2A and see if there was any updates from the games going on at the moment. Riverside currently leads Long Beach City 40-23. Saddleback up on Pasadena City College 28-21. Golden West leads Mount San Jacinto 24-13. And Mount SAC leads 45-20 over Cerritos College.